Hello everyone. Quite a few people have been asking me when I'll feature another model from the BrickVault collection on the channel. So in response, I've built this model ahead of when I was originally planning to, and I look forward to showcasing it for you in this video. What you're looking at is the Swordfish 2, which is Spike Spiegel's fast, sleek, and lethal starfighter from the Cowboy Bebop universe. If you are not familiar with this IP, I highly recommend that you watch the original Cowboy Bebop animated series. It is available on Netflix now, and in my opinion is something truly special. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it, and I think you will too. I did also enjoy watching the Cowboy Bebop live action series that came out this year, also on Netflix. But if I had to recommend either the live action or the animated series, my recommendation easily goes to the animated series. It is gritty, unique, fun, but also at times hauntingly beautiful and gripping. Back to the model, it has been designed by Marshall Banana, who is incredibly talented and has designed several of the high-end models that have instructions available on BrickVault, like this brilliant Slave 1 and upgraded UCS Millennium Falcon. But before you go out and purchase instructions for this Swordfish 2 custom LEGO model, please watch the rest of the video. There is a significant issue with this build that I'll explain shortly. Let's take a close look at the model first. I thought I'd use the high-res photos that I captured to showcase the model to you. I put a lot of work into creating photos for each of the LEGO models that I feature in my videos, so it's nice to be able to use these photos for more than just video thumbnails. From the front quarter, we get a very strong sense of the striking shaping, cool angles, and elements of the Swordfish starfighter. One of the things that I love about this particular model is that it looks so unique and different to anything else that I've built in LEGO recently. Looking at it from this more side-on view, I think Marshall has done a superb job at replicating the double pod-like design of the Swordfish, with the central bulb-like body and cockpit, and then connected rear engine structure. The sharp and correctly angled in wings, nose section, and large ball-mounted laser cannon also look excellent and are a good match to the reference Swordfish 2. From the rear, we get a closer look at how Marshall has designed the circular engine cowling and main thruster details. A pair of 3mm tubes are used and are bent into half circles, with connection plates threaded onto the tubes, allowing you to fit the required sloped elements. It really does look superb in person. I did, however, have to glue some of the central support parts together, as the tubes naturally want to straighten out and tend to overcome the clutch power of the supporting parts, meaning that the circular assembly at the rear of the model tends to fall off easily, especially when attempting to fold the model up. Speaking of that, in this view, you can also see that the model can be folded up like the in-universe Swordfish 2 when it is hanged in the hold of the Bebop. And again, this showcases Marshall's incredible LEGO design skills to make this model not only look great and accurate to the reference starfighter, but to have this fold-up function as well as working landing gear, I think is amazing. And finally, there is a nicely detailed cockpit, and the parts inventory specified by BrickVault also include the parts required to make a Spike minifigure. I did use a slightly different minifigure and face to what was listed by BrickVault, but the match is close enough. Okay, so in the thumbnail for this video, I said this model is beautiful but flawed. And what I mean by the flaw is that there's not an issue with the design or the build itself of this Swordfish 2 model. The flaw or the problem is that this uses a lot of rare and hard to find parts. In fact, in some cases, parts that have only ever been produced in one LEGO set or a handful of older LEGO sets. So what that means is that sourcing all the parts that you'll need to build this from Bricklink is actually an incredibly challenging, difficult, and expensive exercise. Let me give you some examples. The 6x6 transparent black canopy windshield used is unique to set number 7312 and has never been produced in another LEGO set in that color. At the time of filming this video, only a very small number of these parts exist on Bricklink in a new state. Much more exist in a used state, but buying used parts, especially when they are transparent parts, is never a good idea. You'll most likely end up with a heavily scratched and unusable part. As another example, these red angled elements, and you'll need 3 of these to construct the nose of the Swordfish, are rare and hard to find on Bricklink, especially in new condition. And as another example again, the parts list also calls for a lot of these old style 2L Technic joiners. These are commanding high prices on Bricklink as they are rare. You can substitute in the newer version with the slot, or as I've done for the main laser cannon, I used 2L axle connectors, which seem to work quite well. I also found the specific minifigure called out by BrickVault to represent Spike hard to find and expensive. I won't bore you with all the details of those hard to find parts, but for those of you that do want to build this Swordfish 2 model, I've found some substitutions for some of the parts, not all of them, just a handful, and I'll put the details of those substitutions in the description of the video below, so please check them out if you want to build this model. So in conclusion, this is a beautiful, well-crafted and well-designed model that I'm really happy that I have in my collection, especially as I enjoyed watching both the live action and animated Cowboy Bebop series so much. So to have the Swordfish 2 in Lego form in my collection kind of connects me to those shows and all that enjoyment that I had from watching those shows. That said, given this model contains so many rare, expensive, and hard to find parts, I can really only recommend it to people who are both fans of the Cowboy Bebop series, but are also who are experienced with hunting down and buying parts from Bricklink. This really is going to require a lot of Bricklink orders to get all the parts to get that you'll need to build this model, and it's probably going to end up being a lot more expensive than you originally anticipate, especially for a model that's kind of this small to medium size. Now, no doubt in the comments, I'm going to get asked, is this model swooshable? I'm going to kind of say no. You can pick it up by the body and swoosh it around, but I don't even really want to do that on camera. It is actually reasonably fragile, particularly this rear section here. This really has been designed to be a display piece versus something that you play with. That's actually all for this video, but please let me know in the comment section below what you think of this Swordfish 2 model, and also what you think of the Cowboy Bebop live action and animated series if you have watched them. Or also let me know if this video has inspired you to go and check out the Cowboy Bebop series. I'd be really interested to hear from you. Until I see you in the next video, happy building and take care.